Russia has apparently discovered a bold new method of protecting its most advanced fighter jets, parking almost all of them in one place and hoping nothing happens. What could possibly go wrong? Recent satellite imagery shows that a significant portion of Russia's prized Su-57 stealth fighter fleet is now conveniently gathered at the Gyomgi Airbase in the Khabarovsk region. 15 Su-57s can be seen sitting neatly in the open, accompanied by Su-35's fighters, MiG-31's interceptors, and a couple of helicopters. Essentially a greatest hits collection of Russian aviation, thoughtfully arranged on a single airfield. For context, Russia doesn't have many Su-57s to begin with. Photographic evidence suggests somewhere between 20 and 25 exist in total, including prototypes, which makes concentrating around 15 of them in one location a fascinating exercise in risk management. It's a bit like owning 3 sports cars and parking all of them under one tree during a hailstorm. Officially, there are logical explanations. The nearby Gagarin aircraft plant is where the jets are assembled, so naturally some aircraft remain there for testing, upgrades, and technical support. After all, building a 5th-generation fighter is complicated, and keeping them close to the factory helps maintain the illusion of mass production. Another explanation is that Russia believes the Far Eastern location offers safety. After previous Ukrainian long-range drone strikes reached deep into Russian territory, moving valuable aircraft thousands of kilometers away from the front line might seem like a sensible idea. Strong regional air defenses and distance from Ukraine are expected to provide a comforting sense of security. Of course, recent history has demonstrated that distance alone is no longer a reliable shield. Ukrainian operations have already proven capable of striking high-value targets far behind the front lines, including previous attacks on Su-57 aircraft at the Akhtubinsk airbase. In at least one case, the damage was reportedly so severe that repairing the aircraft became questionable, which makes the current arrangement all the more intriguing. Concentrating a large portion of a rare, expensive, and symbolically important fleet in a single, well-documented location is certainly a decision, one that satellite imagery has already highlighted for the entire world to see. From a purely observational standpoint, it resembles less a hardened defensive posture and more a carefully prepared exhibition. A static display of cutting-edge aircraft, parked in the open, photographed from orbit, and waiting patiently. In modern warfare, where drones can travel extraordinary distances and precision strikes increasingly define the battlefield, gathering high-value assets together has a certain dramatic quality. Not necessarily strategic, but undeniably dramatic. If nothing else, it creates what military planners might politely describe as a highly efficient target environment, and what less polite observers might simply call a strike waiting to happen. A Russian Zblogger effectively admits that the Russian authorities largely deceive the public, cover up crimes and mass military deaths for which no one is held accountable, and explains to his readers that Putin is blocking Telegram so Russians won't learn about criminal commanders who zero out their own soldiers. Generally, with the blocking of Telegram, in the context of the special military operation, I see only advantages. There will be no leaks about acts of goodwill. The West Group will immediately take over Kupiansk, Uzlovaya, and then Izium and Kharkiv. Other groups will immediately reach Kiev. By advance attacks, the light-skinned cannibals will stop driving columns and organizing formations. I'm aware of the recent Ka incident. The air defense will stop shooting down its own aircraft. The troops will immediately have everything: drones, FPV, communication, medical supplies, transport. It will only get worse for the fighters, but no public outcry, no problem. And if anything, you can always reset everything. The war will wash all away. A Ukrainian MiG-29 roared into action once again, striking Russian positions in the border settlement of Tyotkino in a fast and precise combat mission. The strike highlights Ukraine's continued use of frontline tactical aviation to disrupt Russian forces and infrastructure close to the front. According to initial reports, the MiG-29 launched a targeted airstrike against a Russian military position inside Tyotkino, an area that has increasingly become a staging ground for operations near the border. The attack was carried out with precision, hitting Russian forces gathered in the settlement and forcing them to scramble for cover. The mission underscores the evolving role of Ukraine's legacy fighter fleet. Despite being older Soviet-designed aircraft, Ukrainian MiG-29s have been modernized and adapted to carry precision-guided munitions. allowing them to strike targets with growing accuracy while operating under constant threat from Russian air defenses. Airstrikes like this are typically coordinated with reconnaissance drones and intelligence assets, ensuring pilots receive real-time targeting information before releasing their weapons. This networked approach has significantly increased the effectiveness of Ukrainian tactical aviation, enabling quick hit-and-run strikes on Russian troop concentrations, logistics hubs, and fortified positions. Tyotkino has seen repeated military activity due to its proximity to active combat zones and supply routes. By targeting Russian positions there, Ukrainian forces aim to disrupt staging areas and reduce pressure along nearby sectors of the front. As the war continues to evolve, Ukraine's air force is proving that even under heavy threat, it remains capable of delivering sharp, decisive blows. Each successful sortie sends a clear message. Ukrainian jets are still in the fight, still striking, and still shaping the battlefield from above. In the Russian-occupied part of the Zaporizhzhia region, Ukrainian forces tracked down and destroyed a Russian BM-27 Uragan-1 multiple-launch rocket system mounted on a BAZ-69092 chassis. The National Guard's Lasars Group performed the operation within the area of responsibility of the 17th Army Corps, in coordination with the 422nd Luftwaffe, Separate Unmanned Systems Battalion, and the 104th Unmanned Systems Center. According to the unit, the launcher had been used to strike civilian infrastructure in Zaporizhzhia. Lasars Group crews had been deliberately hunting the system for several months, monitoring its movements and tracking its deployment routes. The operation culminated in the system being located, successfully engaged, and completely destroyed. Heavy bombers from the unit and FP-5 drones were used in the strike, while aerial reconnaissance crews provided additional target verification. After the initial strikes disabled the launcher, adjacent units engaged the target, causing the system to detonate. Footage showing the strike and subsequent explosion of the MLRS was released by the unit, demonstrating the coordinated work of several drone teams. In 2021, Russia presented a 9K-57 launcher integrated onto a BAZ-69092 chassis. Serial modernization of the BM-27 Uragan multiple-launch rocket systems fleet, replacing the old ZIL-135 LM chassis with the BAZ-69092, began in 2023. The upgraded version was designated Uragan-1. The 9K-57 launcher itself remains unchanged, retaining its 220mm caliber and designed to engage area targets. Read more on their destruction in the article. Hunting Rocket Uragans: How Ukrainian FPV drones and HIMARS destroy Russian MLRS. Lasars Group of the National Guard recently destroyed a Russian Grad system in the Zaporizhzhia region.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.